name's Dylan Carter. I was a former journalist at the Kiev Post. I've been here for the last 2.5 years, on and off, as a journalist. The Kiev Post was my first big break into journalism, but sadly it's no more. It was very abruptly closed by our owner. Freedom of expression, for me, is a series of checks and balances. It's the right to be able to criticize authority, to be able to criticize members of the public, to be able to criticize people in a constructive manner, and not have barriers for you to do so. Here in this part of the world, it's an extremely complex and complicated issue. Holding public officials to account is extremely difficult. And journalists need the right to be able to publish information, to be able to criticize certain officials. This is something that's not always done or achieved here in Ukraine. As a foreigner writing for foreign audiences, it's extremely difficult, naturally. We have very, very few English language publications. I'm an English language journalist. I write for international audiences. Certainly there is a very, very small and narrow field for reporting. Another large problem is, while you may be able to quite easily be published here, there isn't always the interest in Ukraine. So it's definitely very hard sometimes for, especially talented local Ukrainian journalists who might write both in English and in Ukrainian or Russian, to get their voices heard on an international platform. There are definitely new projects being launched here in Ukraine right now, some of which I've worked on, to definitely propel these voices, to show that Ukraine is part of the European community and definitely part of this European vision. I'd like to explain something really important here for Ukraine, and that's financing of media. This is all freedom of expression, all press liberties around here revolve around financing. Unfortunately, we are the second poorest country in Europe, and as a part of that, it means that our media generally isn't profitable. Now, this means something very important. It means that you either get all your money from a certain individual, you have completely non-independent media, you receive 100% of funding from a very politically exposed individual, and you therefore have no press freedom. You are used as a press service almost of an oligarch. The alternative is to go through NGO funding, for-profit models of journalism like we see in the rest of Europe. In any established publication tries to turn a profit. This model in Ukraine is extremely weak, and it's an extremely miserable existence to try and be a journalist working on this format. That's the most important thing I would say, is we can't have freedom of speech in this country until we have working financing of our media. And with the kind of oligarch system that we have right now, it's next to impossible.